build my gallows and build them high. Makes a long time climbing before I die.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Short Bangers. I'm Matty.
Hello, I'm Colin.
Hello, I'm John.
How's doing?
Good.
Good. Aye.
Yeah.
I forget. See, with the scheduling, does this go a different time for like the previous episodes introductions?
Friday morning, yeah. So, Extra was out last night for subscribers. For
All right,
tonight, John.
okay.
Right, so tonight, last night, and the free one's out tomorrow or today when
Friday.
you're listening to it.
Right.
Easy, yeah.
Hmm.
Or yesterday for Saturday.
Well, that's it. People say time travel isn't possible, but I think literally we are here disproving that immediately. Right, here's one question.
Aye.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to ask that every time now when we start up. I just can anticipate it. Oh, right, Tom Wallace category is what do I fancy for dinner? And he's just put stovies, definitely stovies. So, what did you fancy for dinner? Not necessarily what did you have, but what did you fancy?
Oh.
I kind of knew what I was having, so I never really thought about something else. You know what I mean? Like they made it. It was made last night. They made a chili, and it's been in the fridge to reheat today. So I kind of knew all day I was having that. So my mind
Right.
was in that I'm having chili, and it's usually quite good. So
Thai food.
Nice.
I've not had any Thai food for ages. It's like it's not that it's better than Chinese food. It's just different. It's like, you know how
It's
like
better.
the takeaways are like your chippies, your Indians, your Chinese. Like they feel like, I don't know, championship level. Thai food seems like Scottish Premiership, just that notch above. But I don't know whether it's because I quite like. So see, you know how we've talked about before about like getting chippies delivered.
Mhm.
You can't get a chippy delivered because the time it gets to your house, it's cooler.
It's not as good.
It's not
Yeah.
as warm. Like you want to eat a chippy fresh. And the thing that puts me off getting Thai food nearby is that it's a way down sort of Uriston way. So by the time I get it home, it's cold, or it's colder, and I don't want to eat it like that. So I've not had Thai food for a while, but that's what I fancy.
Thai food at its best is better than Chinese food at its best, I would say. I'd quite happily die on that hill. I don't know how anybody could eat a plate of Thai food, like nice Thai food, and then have like Chinese and go, I'd rather have the Chinese. That's my view on it. Colin, you got an opinion on that?
I've never had Thai food. Just only a handful of times at best. So I've not really. It was nice, but I'm not mass. Chinese food's okay as well. I'm not that bothered about Chinese food though, so I could imagine if I had more Thai, I'd maybe agree with you because I've not got a high opinion of Chinese anyway.
Have you got a
I'm
preferred
just going
takeaway,
to.
Colin?
I'm just going to clip that last sentence for Colin there. I just put it out and just say, "Fuck it, we've watched it." When the time comes for us to be cancelled, we'll play it and
That's
say
the clip.
we should have acted then.
It'll be like in that dispatches. They'll just take that bit and go, like, "Fucking hell, did this?" If I'm saying that on here, imagine things I'm almost saying. What were you asking, John?
I don't know if you've ever said, but I was curious as to what your preferred takeaway was, if not Chinese or Indian or whatever.
It's probably Indian.
Yeah. Have you got a go-to dish like Matty's quarter pounder chicken with cheese for McDonald's?
No, I've got there's a few I flit round, like 2 or 3 that are kind of go-tos, but I try and I've been trying to have something different every time. We didn't get it that often because one of my daughters has got allergies to lentils and cashews and all that, right?
Oh, no way.
That they always cook heavy with that, so
Yeah.
we only really have it if she's not in or if we go to somebody else's or whatever. So I didn't have it. It's not, it's only a few times a year I have it. So the last couple of times I've had it, I thought I'll get something else. So I'm not just, because that's my Chinese thing. There's about 3 things for the Chinese that I just get on a rotation. Or I say that, I've not had a Chinese for fucking ages.
Yeah.
Because nobody else really likes them in the house. The food. So I've got 2 or 3 things that I go to, but I tend to stay away from Vindaloo not because it's too hot, but just because I think it's a bit dry. It can be a bit powdery.
Aye.
I like the spicy stuff, but I'd rather have one that's like
With
As
sauce.
hotter, but it's like got sauce, more sauce in it. Tried the Vindaloo before, but I think it's just like a big macho thing you get after the Vindaloo, rather than you want to enjoy it though, or you want to enjoy what you're eating, or you want to just eat a Vindaloo and go, I've got a fucking Vindaloo.
Neil Renton, next question, again, the topic. One, Neil. What relation are snots and eye sleep?
Like bogies.
Aye,
You mean,
so
aye.
bogies and sleep in your eye.
Well, I suppose like bogies different for snots. Like you get a bit of snot if you've got a cold or you've got hay fever, eh? Whereas bogies, I don't know. Would you say that they're the dried equivalent to a snotty nose?
Do you know, I've never actually thought of snot and bogies as being different things, John, but now that you've said that, it's like you produce your own snot, don't you? Whereas the bogies like a collection of dust and dirt and stuff like that you've inhaled that your nose hairs have trapped. Is that about right?
It sounds right.
Sounds like I hadn't considered it either, you know that?
Nah.
That's a good point.
I would have said, like, what bogies, you would say, well, either kind of the hard ones or the slimy ones or whatever. Do you know that if could be going, oh, that's fucking gross.
Have you ever had one where it's a hard one and then when you pick it out, because I tend to have picked my nose in the past, you pick it out and then you get a big string of it on the end.
It's like a tadpole with a helmet on.
Aye. They're good
Is that-
ones.
Is that maybe like an indicator that you've got a cold coming or that your immune system's fighting off? Because it's a bit
I don't know.
of both.
Who was it? Was it John McCririck that when he was on Big Brother was sitting picking his nose in it, and he sort of was quite open about it. And he said that it helped his immune system because it was like these are all the stuff that like the germs and that. I'm just going to have them, and then my body's used to it. That was his theory. You think
He's a
there's any?
manky bastard, though. He's an absolute manky bastard.
Is he deep
Is
now?
he deep?
Aye.
Is he?
Obviously never ate enough bogies.
Swords on that, eh?
I can.
Why would your body have a mechanism to stop manky shit making it into your immune system for you to then go and eat it? That
To
seems to
override
defeat
it.
the purpose. Aye.
Aye. It's stupid, isn't it?
But
Aye.
you know what, though? They do say, though, like you've got the wee one, like your kids are older, but a lot of young kids now get that they're that protected for everything that they're actually more ill when they're older because every surface has been wiped. Like before they sit down, they're washing their hands all the time, and they're not just basically eating mud and wiping their arse and fucking then having their dinner. You know what I mean? They're like, and it's I don't know how true that is, but there's probably it sounds like there's a bit of logic in that.
Aye, there is some truth to that. I believe that things are too sanitized that they don't build up a resistance to it, like a natural resistance. What is it, John? You're gonna.
I just had a very dark thought regarding like antiseptics and like surface cleaners and all that sort of stuff, and whether we should remove them so that the human population could perhaps naturally thin itself out.
Right, that's quite dark. We didn't want another plague and stuff like that. Like we've already just had to fucking deal with COVID, eh? Like we didn't want a widespread like fucking bubonic plague because there's folk in there flushing the toilet and that.
But to go back to Colin's point, like, are we not risking things like that by over sanitizing surfaces? Do we not need it? Do we not need to maybe have like a mass extinction event so that the rest of us can thrive?
It's just that I maybe just need to find the balance. Right, Fenty's Plenty, Jake Gapper. Topic is words, and I like this question. Which word has more alternatives, penis or vagina?
Do you mean like different names for the same thing?
Well done, John. Yep, that's exactly it.
That's like asking the question with different words. Same question with different words.
I just want to make sure that I understand it properly
Yep.
because I've made this mistake before.
There is also a good gif of a train going into a tunnel that accompanied that, which by the way is like an exceptional way to present your question on Twitter if you're going to do it. And
So we need subjects and gifs. in
so
future.
I'm gonna add 3 points onto Jake Gapper's license for it. So he's got a bonus 3 points, like in the good
I've
way in
never
our
taken them,
system. Adding them because we've reinvented the system. So you start off with some and then you lose them for the bad things. So he's got some.
Oh, you're losing for the bad things.
Aye.
Right.
So
I was going along with it.
we've added them on for Jake.
But that was covered in extra time. So if you
Yes.
want to understand what the fuck we're talking about,
You have to listen to
for
that.
extra time.
Yeah, I'm sure he subscribes.
I'm sure he does.
Be daft not to.
If he doesn't, why the fuck would he know?
Exactly.
He's totally bought in. He's totally bought into this. So
Aye. And setting a standard with the question format and everything. So, John, right?
Maybe more words for Bobby Dick.
do we have an answer? Like, because
Well, no.
we're not going to sit here and try and name them all, right? We're not going to manage that. So is there a league table?
Right. So, Heather, could you do 5 for each? Right, in fact, Colin, you take knobs. John, you take fannies. Right, Colin, can you give me 5 knob words?
Knob words. Penis.
Yep.
Dick. Prick. Chopper. How many is that?
4.
Weenie.
Yeah,
Pecker. Ember.
right, so I got 7 there. Right,
How
John,
did you miss Tadger? Tadger's maybe one of the
Tadger.
best.
Cock was
Bobby.
missing as well.
Did you say Bobby?
Bobby, right. Well, in that allocated time that you had, you got
Willie.
7, Colin. But no, he won't. Right. John, you've got 7 to beat. Can you get 7 words for vagina?
Do I have to do this?
Yeah, you do have to do it. This is
I feel like this is a really
I can't believe you've got,
problematic question.
you've got. I can't believe you've got bashful about like everything that we've talked about over the years. The one that you've got bashful about is somebody specifically saying like you're permitted here in the context. All you're doing is giving alternative words for the vagina. And by the way, we know how some people have commented on your voice before.
Oh, Denny.
So if you could do it slowly, that maybe they could just replay it. Do you know if it works for them?
Do you know what? See if I was to try and put on a sexy voice, it would just ruin it. It'd sound awful.
In your normal voice,
Oh,
then
there's so many of this. I got
Is
I
there?
one of these ones.
The only one I can really think is pussy, but
only one.
I'm trying to think. Like, well, if you wanted to be
just think of the in-betweeners.
in-betweeners.
Like they use loads of like clunge. I think they use that one.
Minge.
Front bum. What
I
was
can't-
front
Front bum.
I can't believe. Well, Knob's won. Like Knob has won. Like the penises have it in this
Muff.
contest. Muff.
Do you know what?
Just Fanny.
Fanny, of course.
Snatch.
See, I think Fanny
Gash.
and pussy. You would. Well, are 2 words that I have and would use, but the other ones like snatch, minge. I've used Edinburgh Fringe as a wee bit sort of Leith Rhyming slang.
But I was like that.
But the other ones I just wouldn't use, and that's why they're not coming to mind.
Oh man, you've definitely used that, John.
Big favourite there. Yeah.
I've never used clunge.
No, another
No.
C word.
Oh, but I don't think I've ever used it in that context though.
But it's not whether you use it; it's just what the other words are.
It just
that are
feels
out there.
it feels
That was the
awful.
question.
It makes me feel bad in a way that I was just talking about like wiping out half the planet by no sanitizing surfaces, but other names for a lady's vagina. I'm like, fuck me, where am I going with this?
I think it's amazing how much we got. Do you know what it reminds me of?
Mind the question about being 1 inch in your mum and your dad 1 inch in you.
Aye.
That was fine.
You were all for that. In fact, you gave us too much information in that one. Right, this reminds me of when Josh was at primary school and they did sex education, right? And Jane and I had gone to. We were sitting in bed watching TV. Josh had got up to do his teeth or something. Right? He was going back to his bed, and he stopped to speak to us, and we were like, "What happened at school?" And he says, "Oh, well, we had, sex education." And we were like, "Oh, did you?" And I said, what were they saying to it, Josh? And he says, "Well, the first thing is they asked how many different names that you had for a penis." It's like that. And I could tell, I was like, "What did they say, Josh?" And so Josh was stood at our room door, right? just repeating them. Right, just I can't remember. Like I was greeting with laughter. And, like you're trying to be grown up. I had to hide under my covers and like the fucking bed sheet. I shook myself laughing, and I can't remember. There was one that you said, and it was like you could imagine we kids saying it like in our area. You could imagine we kids that didn't. Their mum and dad were telling them not to like say anything that might have been rude. But when you hear it getting repeated in amongst like Knob and Willie and Gok and then like this one dropped in. I can't remember. I fucking wish I could remember it because it broke me. I was like fucking in bits laughing. Jane's like fucking. You got to grow up here, and I'm like I can't help.
See, at your primary school, did you have a music room that also doubled up as a TV room? Like you'd maybe go in there and watch like a film or whatever.
I might call it, have
The primary school or secondary school?
Primary.
I? Primary. I can't even mind.
Fuck me,
Because I went to mid Calder primary for a bit, and their music room, like for our wee part of the school, my class, music room doubled up as a TV room. TV room is where we went to go and get a wee bit sex education. And I remember it was like this. It was like your public information films. It was like grainy footage. It was awful. It was all about how the man gets on top of the woman and he sort of like thrusts until he's comfortable. Honestly, the way that this video made it look is that the man got on top, kind of thrusted for a wee bit and just lay there. And that was it. That was sex. But the one thing that I distinctly remember about this sex education lesson...
what else is that?
What are you doing?
The one thing that I distinctly remember about this sex education lesson was not so much the stuff that was on the screen. It's that it was dark, the lights were off, you know, so you could see like the 14-inch Grundig or whatever it was that was displaying this information. It was quiet, everyone was just kind of like rapt attention to the TV. And I let out this one little pump that broke the silence.
Right, we've only got a couple of minutes left. I've got two questions that I want to definitely get through. Right, I'm sorry, there's a couple of good questions. Fattest Prickus topic we've done this time, that Dolly Parton song. See, if you didn't know the words to Dolly Parton's song 9 to 5, would you think she didn't know how to count? And what numbers best fit the lyrics if you were to replace them with numbers? I think working 925 785 4311 works well.
Okay.
Okay, now.
I think it's impossible to beat that. Because if you try singing it, like I'm not going to sing it because, you know, nobody wants to hear that. But 925 785 4311, it works perfectly, to be fair. You have to finish on 11 because it's like for 11. But I would say that's very well done, the Fattest Prickus.
Amazing.
Dog Welder, or John, go on.
Oh, was that Alex's statement rather than a question? Like he's told us the answer.
He's just trying to make you laugh.
He says what numbers best fit the lyrics if you were to replace them, and he suggested his ones. But then you would have to then come up with a
different order of numbers, which would end in 11. Because
it's not going to. We're not going to be as funny as that, no. So we just cut our losses with it. Right, Dog Welder said, who would win in a fight between? And it's two TV kids that I think if you see one's I think for Malcolm in the Middle, and then the other one is maybe for like Modern Family or something.
Is it in Twitter?
It's on Twitter.
What is it in? What account is it in?
There you go.
Is it Brick at the?
Is
it on Short Bangers or on Long?
It's on Short Bangers. It's for Dog Welder.
Right.
So I think one of them's definitely Malcolm in the Middle.
Aye, that's Brick on the right. For the middle.
And then the other one, Modern Family?
No, I don't recognise the other one.
Are we sure it's not the same? No, it's not the same kid. But I do recognise him. The one on the right, I don't know who he is.
The one on the right, so we sap at the programme. Go on the one on the left.
Right, okay, we'll take that as
answer.
Right, we're nearly out of time. Guinness 2022 said if there was ever a Short Bangers v Long Bangers 5-a-side game, who would you play for and why?
Probably Short Bangers, because I reckon I'm a bit of a maverick.
Colin?
I'll do Long Bangers then. You captain it, because you'll be the manager of one of them.
I have to fucking...
or both.
Or both. I'll take a half each. Right, we're out of time. The last question, and that's us caught up with the questions as well to this week, which is great. 150k on Hanlon Hill. The topic is Antipode and Rajes. And why is the Outback called the Outback when it's in the middle?
Is it because all Australian houses face the coast, so the Outback is like in the middle? It's basically like everyone's back garden.
So back.
The Outback's Outback.
Yes, let's go with that.
Seems a bit logical.
Aye. Would streets work if all the houses face the same way? Like, does your house look onto somebody else's?
Nah.
No, but you have got you have got houses that face other. I don't think you have though, John. Have you? Your house is all your streets, all houses facing out the way.
Aye.
Not face out the way, yeah, but you can what I mean.
Aye.
That direction. Fair dues. Right. That's us out of time. Thanks for your questions, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Well, they trailed me down when I broke free. I drank all the whiskey in Tennessee. I don't drink water, no,